What we've seen is a very raggedy form instituted by right-wing extremism. Everyone knows that the right-wing extremism in this country has targeted democratically ran cities. And quite frankly, they've been very intentional about going after democratically ran cities that are led by people of color.
And this dude, Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, is a trip. He is playing the victim because people are complaining and coming against him for all the issues he's causing these migrants. Look at what he just said, talking about that it's right-wing extremism that's causing people to complain. People complaining are not right-wing extremists. People that are complaining are citizens and residents, people that probably voted for you. But yet, because they're not bowing the knee to you, Brandon Johnson, they're not worshiping at the altar of Brandon Johnson, you're going to play the victim.
Bandit families and asylum seekers and let them go through Chicago's winter alone.
Mayor Brandon Johnson today announcing a new initiative with Chicago's faith leaders to help shelter and feed migrants.
It comes as the city scrambles to build temporary shelter for thousands of asylum seekers.
Fox 32's Dane Placco reports on how many people will get help.
As temperatures plummet and migrants continue to pour into Chicago, Mayor Johnson announced a new partnership with Chicago area churches to help ease the migrant crisis. They're calling it the Unity Initiative.
The Unity Initiative will prioritize getting pregnant women, children, and all of those sleeping outside of police stations or on the floors into temporary housing as quickly as possible through churches all over the city of Chicago.
Funded by $350,000 in private donations, the partnership will initially involve 17 churches, housing up to 20 migrants each. The migrants will live at the churches and be provided food, medical care, and social services, and eventually employment.
We're prepared to receive the migrants compassionately, provide clean, warm shelter, prepared meals, humanitarian services.
Right now, a little more than 1,000 migrants remain camped at police stations, down from more than 3,000 a few weeks ago. And the number of migrants living at O'Hare is down to about 100. The pastors say they're ready to start immediately.
All these pastors have committed to start the process. So boots on the ground starting tomorrow, and we're going to start filling them up.
The mayor also responded to criticism from residents of Brighton Park, who say there's been a lack of transparency about plans to build a huge migrant camp on an empty lot.
We're not going to break away from our value system because right-wing extremism is sowing seeds of discord in this city.
You think about all the things that we allow to slide. This is another thing that, we just can't allow this to happen.
There's no transparency from the mayor, not even from Alderman Ramirez. It's very inhumane to do this.
This mayor is acting like a dictator. He needs to go. He must go.
What we've seen is a very raggedy form instituted by right-wing extremism. Everyone knows that the right-wing extremism in this country has targeted democratically ran cities. And quite frankly, they've been very intentional about going after democratically ran cities that are led by people of color. It's the same Republican right-wing extremism that stormed the Capitol. It's the same right-wing extremism that refuses to accept the results of the Civil War. They're still mad that a black man is free in this country. This is nothing new. But aren't you glad that the soul of Chicago won't be broken? And those are the words of, I think, Beyonce. You won't break our soul.
That's victim mentality. And to reference Beyonce as a mayor, boy, Chicago, what in the world are y'all doing? First it was Lori Lightfoot. Then you got Brandon Johnson. This dude's worse than Lori Lightfoot. At least Lori Lightfoot tried to do some stuff. At least I think she tried to do some stuff. This dude is horrible. He is horrible. With all the stuff that's going on in Chicago, for him to sit up there and play the victim and blame right-wing extremism, come on, man. Take responsibility for your decisions, bro. Take responsibility for what you're doing. And these churches now joining in and helping you out. I hope these same churches are providing resources for their communities. I really do. Chances are they're probably not, but I hope they are doing the same thing for their communities, placing their communities first, placing their members first. Who knows? It's crazy what's going on in Chicago. Right-wing extremism. Stop playing the victim, man.
Hey,
I want to say, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button and click subscribe so we can get this message out to as many people as we can to let them know that they're not victims, they are empowered for greatness.